fungus. Chances are you just thought of a mushroom. No, not that mushroom. Yeah, that mushroom. And with over 100,000 species of fungi, there's a lot that can be covered. But for this video, I'll be going over a basic introduction of the 4 different types of fungal ecology. First off, there's the bulk of all fungi, decomposer fungi, or saprotrophs, meaning an organism which gets its energy from dead organic matter. An example of a saprotroph is bracket fungus, those usually disc-looking mushrooms you'd find on dead trees and rotting logs if you were in a wooded area. When the reproductive spores of a saprotroph land on their host, they begin to grow and produce mycelium, which are essentially the roots of the fungus, that burrow into their host. The mycelium then secrete digestive enzymes to get nutrients and energy from the dead material, breaking it down in the process, hence the name decomposer fungi. Next, there's parasitic fungi. So a parasite... Wrong parasite! Thank you. An organism that grows, feeds, and is sheltered on or in a different organism while contributing nothing to the survival of its host. An excellent, albeit morbid and creepy example is the cordyceps fungus. The reproductive spores attach to their host, typically small insects or arthropods, and then use their mycelium to penetrate and replace the tissue of the host. Basically, they plant a seed in their head and are killed by the roots, ripping their brain to shreds. Some variations of cordyceps can even affect the behavior of their host, effectively controlling them until they die. Insects and arthropods, editor. Insects and arthropods. Well, okay, admittedly this is a good point to bring up. The cordyceps fungus has, in fact, recently entered the pop culture scene in the Sony PlayStation hit video game The Last of Us.
What if this thing jumped species and infected people, and that was the earliest inspiration?
So, yeah, mushroom zombies are a thing now. Basically, imagine if a mutated strain of the cordyceps fungus had managed to infect people instead of just insects, like what was happening with those ants began happening to the human race. Not a pleasant thought. Of course, our immune systems are also strong enough to be able to fight against the fungus, but still, perhaps some man-made intervention could cause the fungus to be able to infect humans, make it stronger. Then again, this is a product of fiction, so this will probably never happen. Either way, the cordyceps fungus has seen new light in pop culture with this title. And, as the old saying goes, today's science fiction is tomorrow's science fact. So, who knows what'll happen. But I'm getting off track here. Okay, moving on to mutualistic fungi. These fungi are a lot less dramatic and a lot friendlier. Basically, a mutualistic fungi presents itself to its host and says,
"Who has wood for my sheep?"
Our example here is a lichen, a type of fungus that feeds off the photosynthesis-created food of algae and or cyanobacteria. In turn, the algae or cyanobacteria are housed by the That's not what I mean, and you know it! Are protected from their surrounding environment by the filaments of the fungus. In relation to living organisms, a group of ants known as leafcutter ants actively breed, feed, and protect fungus in their own habitat. They constantly bring leaves to the fungus for it to feed on, so they can in turn feed on the fungus, hence the name leafcutter ants. I suppose when you think about it, ants were the first farmers. Lastly, there's predatory fungi, and typically when one thinks deadly predators, they don't think mushrooms. I could just scream. Moving on, a perfect explanatory example is the Arthrobotrys genus of fungi. Specifically, what you're seeing now is the Arthrobotrys oligospora fungi. The loop part of the mycelium of the fungi releases the chemical signifying the mating scent of a nematode, and once some poor nematode looking for love in all the wrong places enter through the loops constrict and begin feeding off the now trapped nematode. So, there you have it, a basic introduction of the 4 categories of the ecology of fungi. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go see who's editing this week and have a talk with them. I will see you next time.